Yes. Welcome, everybody, to Playback. My name is Brandon.
My name is Nate.
This is the show where two music producers take turns choosing an album to talk about. This week, it is Nate's turn. Nate picked... Oh, okay, I got to read this one. This is an easy title to forget and to say incorrectly.
Yeah.
Funkentelechy versus the Placebo Syndrome by Parliament.
That's right.
Yes. So, Nate, my friend, what is Funkentelechy ... and and why did you pick it?
So, Funkentelechy versus the Placebo Syndrome is, I don't even know what number album by Parliament and Funkadelic, or really by Parliament. Funkadelic is another band made up of the same people.
Right. Yeah. It's not very straightforward. We'll get into that. What is Parliament? Funkadelic? What's Funkadelic? What's Parliament? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. But so this is an album by Parliament, who is, that's George Clinton is kind of who you should be most aware of when you're thinking of Parliament or Funkadelic or any of their offshoots. They're all kind of George Clinton joints, so to speak. It is, how do I put it? It's my favorite funk album, I guess. It's an album I've been kind of obsessed with for maybe the last 5 or 6 years. I came to it pretty late. I didn't grow up a P-Funk guy. I grew up a James Brown guy. James Brown was my shit growing up. I was obsessed with James Brown as a kid. I remember having, I bought the Star Time box set. It was like a big red, oblong, it was like a long red box set. And was just absolutely obsessed with James Brown and a lot of that stuff from that box set. And it got me really, really into funk when I was a kid. And I remember when I was young, wanting to learn how to play the guitar stuff on those James Brown records, the funky guitar kind of chords, those 9 chords or whatever they are.
Lots of sevens in there.
Sevens
for sure.
and add nines and whatever the fuck they are. I don't know. I don't know music theory like Brandon does. But I remember specifically as a kid going to one of my guitar lessons and being like, can you show me how to play this James Brown stuff? And him being like, you want to learn to play Catfish Collins? And I was like, yes, I do, I guess.
What did you just call me?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. And Catfish Collins went on to leave James Brown's band with his brother Bootsy. They left James Brown's band to join P-Funk in the 70s. So I don't know. These musicians have always had a big influence on me in one way or another, whether I was aware of it or not. And I also just, us, coming out of reggae summer, right? We've been doing all these reggae albums. I saw a lot of similarities between that scene and this scene, although they are wildly different in every way. Reggae having so many rules to it, although, we showcased over the summer how, there are a lot of musical rules that you have to follow for it to be reggae, right?
Yes.
But there's so much wiggle room in that sandbox, right? Where as long as you're doing a one drop and you're doing this or that, it's reggae, right?
There's a lot of colors you can paint within those rules.
Yeah. Whereas the way I would describe funk, and especially P-Funk's style of funk, is in funk, and especially in P-Funk, there are no rules as long as it's funky. As long as it's funky, you can do whatever you want. As long as it's funky.
Follow the funk.
Follow the funk, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good way of putting it. And in fact, that actually ties in with the entire overt concept and meaning of this album, so to speak, right?
I also wanted to highlight Parliament, Funkadelic, George Clinton, because I think that it's yes, have they gotten their just dues in the music community? I would say mostly. In the black music community, certainly, yes. They've been elected to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? They've sold millions and millions of copies, right? It's it's hard for me to sit here and say they're underrated, because they're not.
Right. P-Funk is a household name.
P-Funk is a household name. But I think about this a lot of like, who are the greatest American bands? Who could like fly that flag? And it's like, you got like, you know, Creedence, you got like The Doors, you got Velvet Underground, you got Grateful Dead, you know, but a lot of Chili Peppers. But like, I just feel like P-Funk is not included in that conversation for one reason or another. I don't know why that is.
It's probably because they're black as part of it.
That is exactly why. That's exactly what I was alluding to. Is I think that they don't get their just deserves in that respect because they were such weirdos and they just let their freaks flags fly, and they're black, right? And so
I didn't even realize it until I said it. But all that Chili Peppers is
white P-Funk,
white kids who wanted to play P-Funk, and they're just playing P-Funk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Especially early Chili Peppers, which George Clinton produced. Right? Yeah. George Clinton produced the first Chili Peppers record. I can't remember how many he did, but
yeah, I mean, even their biggest stuff, like Blood Sugar Sex Magic, like you listen to songs on there and it's like
P-Funk.
They are playing, this is just a 4-piece who is playing P-Funk.
Totally.
That's all this is.
Yeah. So in that respect, I just feel like, I don't know, they deserve more somehow. I know that they've reached the mountaintop of American music and like world music, and they're so influential and everything. But like, it just there's something like we're holding back our full love and appreciation for this group of musicians. I feel like they deserve more, and I want to do our small part in just highlighting how amazing these guys are and what a contribution they made to American and world music in general. But Brandon, I'm really interested to hear what you have to say about this record, because I would say from a playing perspective, it's certainly a Brandon-y album. It's more on the Nate perspective as far as recording goes. It's not like this. It's not like super pristine, and it's super. It's certainly like super wild and like all over the place when it comes to, just the party atmosphere of this thing. But I'm really curious what were your first impressions of Funkentelechy versus the Placebo Syndrome?
Yeah, so I really had barely listened to any P-Funk beyond their singles, beyond, you know, the songs that everyone knows that always play in the bowling alleys and everything, you know. And you know, even including everything from the wider umbrella. So like Atomic Dog, right, which is technically it's technically a George Clinton song, but
even still technically still just a P-Funk song. It's
still made P-Funk by the same collective of people. Yeah. But I honestly, I did not think that I would like this as much as I do.
I was worried. I was worried. My worry was that you were going to think the songs were too long. That was my biggest worry.
Right. So, and you know, I'll get into that. I do have, you know, thoughts and feelings about the lengths of the song, but when you first told me that this was your pick for the first album after we're done with Reggae Summer, I was kind of underwhelmed.
Yeah.
When I just heard about it, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
We're not gonna like come right off the back of
we're not doing Pet Sounds.
Yeah, right. We're not doing Pet Sounds. We're not doing a Beatles album or something. Yeah. It's like, wow, okay. And I think it's because, you know, as I was very uneducated on P-Funk. I only ever saw what, you know, just like whatever it is that you absorb about them just from being a regular white person in America. Sure. So I sort of always thought, I always thought that P-Funk was more style over substance, that their primary contribution was being a spectacle, was like their stage show and their presentation and their costumes and the props and the lighting and just the vibe. More. It's
actually both. It's style with substance.
Right.
It's actually both.
Which is what I had learned from you picking this album and, you know, getting ready to talk about it and listening to it a bunch and getting educated about it. And I think too also that their songs that are the most famous are the ones that possibly demonstrate the least amount about their musicality and the heights of their musicianship.
Totally.
Right. If you look at like Flashlight, Give Up the Funk, or We Want the Funk, or whatever the funk that song is called.
Yeah.
And Atomic Dog and things like these are not the songs where their virtuosic musical skills are on the best display. And so, since those are the songs, the only ones that I had ever heard, I just sort of assumed that the reason why they're so beloved and why they were so impactful was because of their vibe.
Yeah, they're just fun pop songs.
Their ethos and kind of that funky philosophy that they put out into the world, and secondarily, maybe way on the back burner, is actually the actual music, right? But turns out that is not the case. They're way better musicians and songwriters than I thought that they were. And even those songs that are essentially a never-ending jam, which is all of them except for 2 on this album.
Yeah.
Even those songs are kept afloat by like the sophistication and the schooling and the smarts and the know-how and the skill of the musicians that are in that swirl, that never-ending jam swirl of music that's going around. And it really keeps those songs listenable for 10 plus minutes in a way where I think if that musicianship wasn't there, it would be like insufferable eventually.
Yeah. I was really worried because, I hearken back to our physical graffiti discussion.
Yes.
When you're
Brandon versus Nate battle of physical graffiti. Yes.
When one of your chief complaints about, I think it was In My Time of Dying.
In My Time of Dying. Yes.
Which, I've totally come around to your point of view. I still like the tune, but I've come around to your point of view on that, which is just that like, it's just the same thing for 15 minutes and nothing really happens. Like there's not a lot of musical exploration happening.
They
just
randomly chose on one song, hey, instead of doing 2 verses and 3 choruses, let's do 8 verses and 10 choruses.
Yeah. Whereas, you contrast that with something like, I don't know, what's
and
one of the
and let's
ones?
do the bridge 3 times.
You contrast that with something like Funkentelechy on this record, which is just like, it's constantly evolving. And even when they do repeat the same parts, oftentimes there's so much virtuosity and there's so many things for your ear to latch onto. There's literal entire sections of musicians where it's like, this time through, why don't you just listen to the rhythm section? Okay, next time through, why don't you just listen to the guitar section? The guitar section.
A section of guitars. Yeah.
Why, you're bored of that. Why don't you listen to the horny horns? Let's check out the horn section because they're amazing. How about the Brides of Funkenstein?
Yes.
How about check out what they're doing?
Those
you're bored.
Vocals.
If somehow you're bored of all of that, listen to Bernie Worrell on this record. Listen how fucking unbelievable Bernie Worrell is on this record.
So here's an early shout out to Bernie Worrell right here. Just the fact that you point that out, how there's like sections of instruments going on throughout this album. And then you think of the pervasive, the size of the keyboards on this album, and it's one person.
One guy, and it's Bernie fucking Worrell, who I think we're going to have a lot to say about him later, because he is the MVP of the record, in my opinion. He's the star of the show.
I agree with you. Yeah.
And then let's say the musicianship isn't even your bag at all. You just like the vibe, and you can just then latch on to this amazing sci-fi, like Afrofuturist like concept that is this album. Like there's a whole storyline with characters and like, parts that people are playing, and George Clinton like just showing all like 9 sides of his personality like through various characters and all the amazing vocals on this record from him and all the other contributors. It's just like, it's kind of overwhelming. Like we actually took an extra week to work on this discussion for like a lot of reasons, because I'm mixing a record right now. We wanted a little bit of a break, give everybody a little breather after Reggae Summer, and we haven't taken a break from the show yet. But I straight up, I'm obsessed with this album, and I was like, I'm not yet ready to do this yet. Like, I need a little extra time. Gotta do it justice.
Yeah.
I need a little extra time to chew on this. But man, I don't know. I'm so excited to turn you on to this record, because this is one of my favorites that I've come across in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things that is like, selfishly awesome for me about doing the shows, things like this, moments like this, where it's like, all right, sweet. Now I know Parliament. Now I know P-Funk.
Yeah. Okay, we were talking before the show. If you don't know who P-Funk is or George Clinton is, literally go just Google it, right? There's 1,000 documentaries. I watched 3 or 4 of them before we started doing this. They're so Googleable, okay? And that is not really what we want to focus this episode on. But that being said, we're going to do
the story is not hard to find.
It's not, yeah. But that being said, let's do a quick overview of like who are all these people and who let's distinguish between Parliament, Funkadelic, the Parliaments, Bootsy Collins and
Parliament
Funkadelic, the P-Funk All-Stars, George Clinton himself, like the Brides of Funkenstein, like they're all basically one entity known as P-Funk, right? Yeah. There is kind of the
hyphenated Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the name of this whole collective of
which artists. Is probably 60 different people, 70 different people. P-Funk is about 60 or 70 different people, I would say, at this point in their life cycle.
Okay, yeah, right, yeah. No, yeah, because I was thinking about it like just at the time during their first era. But no, yeah, by this
point, late 70s, P-Funk is at the height of its might.
The number of musicians who have ever toured or recorded with them, yeah.
Or in the various side projects, all under the P-Funk umbrella, the George Clinton umbrella. It's like, it's approaching like 100 people. Like, it's really nuts, like how many people are involved in one way or another with this project. But to go back a little bit, so P-Funk was to understand P-Funk, you got to start with the Parliaments, right? And the Parliaments were they were George Clinton's doo-wop band. When he worked at a bar, it was like the most classic, like almost like cliche, like starting story for a band like this. He was a barber in a barber shop when he was in high school, when he was like 16, 17. And when he would be done cutting people's hair, the barbers would all sing doo-wop together. And they went and they won doo-wop competitions.
The literal barbershop quintet.
Barbershop quintet, right?
Yeah.
So they became really popular in the area. I'm forgetting even where that was. I want to say it was
New Jersey.
New Jersey, that's right.
Yeah.
So they won all these competitions. They became really popular. They named themselves after the cigarette brand, Parliament cigarettes, right? So they're the Parliaments. They really wanted to break into Motown. And they were basically kind of, I don't know, from what I've heard, in line with stuff like the Four Tops and stuff like that of its era. But it was essentially they were told by Motown and Berry Gordy, sure, but you guys are just one of 1,000 groups like this, and you're really nothing special. You're not.
Yeah, you're in the line. So they were good enough to the point where they could drive from Jersey over to Detroit and pitch themselves to Motown and get signed. They did.
But they kind of languished, right? The Motown didn't do anything with them because
I think I heard that there never was a recording made or released from that contract.
Yeah,
which sort of makes me wonder. I wonder if maybe the whole reason why Motown did sign them was just to kind of
almost keep them away from other labels or something
to mitigate the competition. Here is an artist that could potentially, take a couple record sales off of us.
Big time.
We don't need anyone else. We're not going to use them, but let's just like kind of hobble them.
Yeah.
And keep them from being able to release records that other people would buy instead of ours.
Totally.
Maybe.
It sounds really shrewd and harsh, but like that is those kind of like evil business decisions that's how it worked. Yeah, that's what they would do.
That's the music business, baby.
That's the music business. Yeah. I mean, the music business is like the grossest business ever conceived of. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if that's exactly how it played out. Or just that Motown, they weren't a priority. They didn't care. And because like maybe the Parliaments weren't that impressive. I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. But
it's so true, man. What they say about how dirty, how underhanded the music business is, or most optimistically saying how dirty it can be.
Yeah.
I think that's the most generous way you could say it. But because it for sure it either it's out there or it's freaking pervading and it's freaking everywhere. But not to spoil the later parts of the story that you've already began, but there's even the whole aspects of underhanded business practices and people taking advantage of each other throughout all their later history.
That's a big part of this entire group of people and band. Yeah.
And it really is like, I don't know about you, but I know I find, people like other people in my life who aren't a part of the music industry can like sometimes really be like surprised when, to hear stories about like what it's really like and everything, like some friends of mine who are like, business guys, wheeling and dealing, they have like regular business jobs. And just like when I tell them about, like a project that I'm working on, something that I'm mixing, something that I'm playing on, shows that I'm playing or something, they're like, oh, that's great, man. How much are they paying you? And it's like, I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you mean you don't know?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, like what we talked about was this, that may or may not happen. We'll see how much I actually end up getting at the end of this date, once this date happens and once this blah, blah, blah. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. Doesn't exist like that in any other industry. Like people don't operate that way. But for some reason with music, it's like, fine. Nobody fucking gives a shit to
Or like, oh, when are you getting paid? It's like, well, I don't know.
We'll see.
Exactly. I'm not sure. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
And I may or may not get what we talked about. And they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who are these people?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Something must be wrong. And I have to explain every time, like, no, you don't understand. That's normal.
Yeah, it was way worse back then even. So yeah, I think somehow or another, they basically lost the rights to the Parliament's name. Like they actually started performing live with a backing band, right? As
consisting
the Parliaments.
Of children, of teenagers.
Yeah, consisting of teenagers. So they started performing as the Parliaments or maybe just Parliament at that point. This is like late 60s.
No, I think they were still the Parliaments.
Yeah, they were.
Because they didn't start going by Parliament until after they were out of that Motown contract.
Exactly.
They essentially lost the name. They had to jettison the name the Parliaments with that contract. Yeah.
Yeah. So funny thing happened though is they really started, I think, in the late 60s, they were really hip to Hendrix and Sly Stone. And those two acts, I think are really the key to understanding the whole trajectory of the P-Funk project, which is like rather than doing the like Temptations, we're all going to wear matching suits and have choreography and do like these dances or whatever, that wasn't really something I think they ever could like it never really gelled with them anyway. Where they really took off and started excelling musically and as a group was when they all just kind of decided to do acid and just really like let loose, like just really like no filter on like their look, their style, their sound, like nothing. They just kind of like let let the cat out of the bag.
That's where Funkadelic came in.
Right. So this is where the contract stuff gets really interesting to me, because I didn't really realize this until I started doing the research for this episode, which is like, so they were the Parliaments. They had a backing band that was awesome. They, at a certain point, like lost the name Parliament or the Parliaments, right? So what they did was, let's instead push the musicians to the forefront and call it Funkadelic.
Essentially, yeah. So basically, it was like, shit, we signed that Motown contract as the Parliaments. Crap, they're not doing anything. So I think they like, basically in breach of the contract, did record and release music as the Parliaments with somebody else. But that got tied up in legal stuff, because you can't do that with that contract. You're violating the contract. So that got tied up. And so essentially what they did was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just start a new band
with the same people.
The same people in it. Yeah. This is a new band, and it's Funkadelic, and they, had their own thing. And so at that point in time is when that early 60s styles of music, such as doo-wop and the Temptations and everything,
that was all out the window anyway.
Nobody thought that was cool anymore. Now it's all about, it's like the Woodstock type thing.
Yeah. And that's what Funkadelic
was. Sideburns and afros and bell bottoms and shit, right? And acid.
Funkadelic was really emblematic of that, like late 60s, early 70s, Sly Stone, Woodstock kind of sound.
It's literally a portmanteau of funk and psychedelic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually a very unimaginative name when you think of it.
But it's also like perfect though. Like it is what it is. It's psychedelic funk. Like that's what the whole thing is.
If someone like 10 years ago just decided, oh, I know, we'll call our band like Dubstep and Social Media. Like that's what we'll be called.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just take the two popular fucking things and stick them together. Yeah. So as Funkadelic. So Funkadelic was like, it was Funkadelic, like kind of featuring the Parliaments as the singers, right? Right.
Which is so funny to me, and that's what Funkadelic is, and it's also Funkadelic. When you're looking through like the back catalog of P-Funk albums, like you can kind of go by what you're more in the mood for. Like Funkadelic is more of the acid rock guitar solo, like musicians forward music, not as much singing going on. Yeah. Although it's there too, because at a certain point it's all just intermingling together. And then at a certain, so they put out like Maggot Brain and a couple others as Funkadelic, all went over really well. And then at a certain point, maybe the contract had lapsed after a certain amount of time or something like that, but they got the rights to the name back, and they were able to record as Parliament again. Well, instead of the Parliaments, they start going by Parliament instead. And the Parliament records in their catalog are the ones that are more focused on like vocals and singing and their dance albums. Like they're
like this one.
Like this one. Yeah. Like they're the albums where they're trying to like get hits. It's not like the albums where they're just purely flexing musically like Cosmic Slop or something just like that.
Melting faces.
Yeah. They're kind of like the more kind of the funky, more dancey stuff you could sing along to, the poppy stuff, right? Like,
and isn't kind of like the pantheon of characters and the story and everything, is that more or even completely based around the Parliament records, or is that also the Funkadelic records are also a part of that backstory?
I think the stuff with like an actual story where these characters weave in and out, that is mostly contained in the Parliament albums. And we're talking like Mothership Connection, this one, I think it's called like Trombopulous or something. There's a couple others. But
Motor Booty Affair,
yeah. But like the Funkadelic records are like awash in like that cosmology and like Afrofuturism and like and like both, basically, for lack of a better word, like the not theology of P-Funk but like the like the book of P-Funk, right? Like if you had to know the rules, the
Silmarillion
of P-Funk, yeah. Like if you had to know if you wanted a deeper kind of dive into like their thoughts on politics and capitalism and all this stuff, it's like that is in the Funkadelic records as well.
Okay.
Especially in their artwork.
All right, so it's both.
It is both. And at a certain point by the late 70s, it is literally both. Like they were two entities, but they were all the same people, and they're all playing, intermingling on each other's records. And like then Funkadelic started having pop songs that are super fun and sing alongable, and you know, and obviously Parliament, like some of these songs are 10 minutes long, and they're like these insane like psychedelic jams, you know, like so it's like it's all the same people. I think it's like amazingly fun to have this crazy group of people, and they do have all these little side bands and stuff like that, because Parliament and Funkadelic, those are the main two bands, right? And then underneath Parliament Funkadelic, you've got Bootsy Collins' Rubber Band, right? At a certain point, Bootsy Collins did a solo project at Bootsy Collins' Rubber Band. That's its own thing. Eddie Hazel was putting out solo records. Bernie Worrell had a solo record. There was the Brides of Funkenstein.
The Brides of Funkenstein.
Who
and that's call it Funkenstein, like
Funkenstein, whatever.
Frankenstein.
Yeah,
it's Frankenstein.
They were the female backup singers who then George Clinton would just take the P-Funk guys, some of the best P-Funk guys, and make a record and have push the Brides of Funkenstein forward as like, you guys are the artists now. Like, and it was the same with all those records. It's like an Eddie Hazel record where he's the star, but it's, you know, Bootsy and Bernie and everybody else is under it. It's probably not literally them, but
there's
it's
also,
like,
was it Parlette?
The Parlettes, yeah. So
the
they
Parlettes.
were another group of backing singers, right? So it's like it's similar to like the same idea as like what like Wu-Tang did in the 90s, right? It's like, you've got Wu-Tang, and then it's like, guess what? The next phase of Wu-Tang is we're all going to split up 9 ways, and we're going to make 9 solo albums, and we're all going to have 9 solo careers, and we're all going to like take over hip-hop. And then when we come back together for the next album, it's just going to like, all of a sudden our band is now a supergroup, right?
Yeah.
Like we are a supergroup, even though we're not, right? It's not really how it went down.
And all this too, by the way, you know, if you have been listening through our Reggae Summer episodes that we just did, just look at the contrast of the way that the music industry works, right? Because we really emphasized in the when we were talking about the Jamaican records, how everything is based around the studio, or around a producer working at a studio, and there's just like a revolving door of artists coming through and backing bands to come through and all that stuff. Like what Nate just described about George Clinton and P-Funk and their whole empire that they set up, and Wu-Tang and their empire that they set up over on. Then you like Dr. Dre is another example, and everything, and his like empire of family of artists that he sets
stable,
up. Stable. Yeah. There's so many examples of that happening in America, which stands to me in such contrast, where American music and English music too it's artist based. It's not studio based. It's not producer based. It's not, and this is after the era of when it's label based, right? Like when the Parliaments essentially got caught up and lost their name to a Motown contract. Back then, the 40s, 50s, 60s, that's when it was label based.
Yeah, Motown had all the power in the relationship.
But from the 70s after that, it's artist based.
Yeah.
You know, like what
and it still is.
What studio is Nirvana associated with? Nothing. Studios are associated with Nirvana, not the other way around.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So anyway, I just wanted to kind of point that out, because the story of this is like a really good epitome of the American music industry, like features or whatever you call it.
Yeah, the way it works here, it is you're right. It is like a super stark contrast to especially Jamaica.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you can kind of see how at this point, this is like 78, 77, 78, like George Clinton and P-Funk and their whole empire, it was like George Clinton at the top, then you had Parliament, Funkadelic, and then you had like all the other little groups, right? And the way that they had it set up was like, I don't know if you just paid attention to that shape I just made. It's kind of a pyramid. The way they have that set up.
It's an inverted funnel.
It's an inverted funnel, yeah. It was yes. The reason this whole thing fell apart though was because basically it was designed in such a way that all the money just funneled up to George Clinton, right?
Yeah.
That's just the way that it worked, which like is such a fucking bummer to me learning that for this, because it's so ironic, right? At this point, he was like paying band members with drugs or not even paying them at all. Like it was just like really shady bullshit that like I'm sure is kind of similar to what he had to deal with going through Motown and earlier in his career. He wound up just kind of self-perpetuating that same bullshit on his own band. And these were some of the greatest musicians alive at this point, especially they were inventing a new style of music as they were going along. And it really stands in stark contrast to like the themes of this record, right? Which is like seemingly against all that kind of shit, right? It was something I really had to grasp it with like learning about this, which is like spiritually, I connect with so much in what they're trying to get across, like lyrically in this record. But like when you look at what they were literal, like what his literal business practices were, it was like it's really hypocritical. It was hard for me to kind of wrap my brain around it. But it all fell apart because of that shit. Like that's the reason that Clinton had to go solo in the 80s and all that shit is because like
he just alienated all of
everyone,
the contributors and the collaborators of what made this project what it was. Yeah, and it seems like this record was during the period of time where like that kind of, you know, your pay being held out on you by George, you know, starting to see your paychecks shrink and like sort of in the midst of it getting bad, but this is before the time when it was just full blown like he is not giving me any money. He's only giving me drugs instead and then telling me that I owe him for those drugs. Like before it got to the worst that it got to, it seems like.
From what I understand, it was like this is kind of in the heart of that, actually.
Oh, I see.
Like it was like right when that was really kicking off was like, oh, I made $50 for this tour. Like you wrote me a check for $50 for this tour, or like oh you gave me angel dust as payment. Like real gnarly shit. Like really, really. So I mean, like I don't know. And you saw a lot of people die in this period. Like people fucking were dropping like flies in this band, which, you know.
Right. Yeah. There were members of this collective that died in their 20s, their 30s, their early 40s from like heart related things that, you know, like
liver failure.
Right.
Guess how that happened. And when you're 24.
Yeah, I know. And when you just read it on a page, it seems like, oh, damn, that sucks that guy was born with a bad liver or born with a bad heart. It's like, well,
yeah.
Not necessarily.
Might have had something to do with touring with P-Funk for a couple years. So, yeah, I mean, I think the really shady business stuff from George Clinton on top of like having such a huge ensemble of people to manage just stretched the whole business really thin. And like, not to say nothing of like, they were, not that we should go super deep on this or anything, but like, as far as live acts go, they were like unbelievable. I'm talking like their stage show. I mean, it was like imagine like a Kiss-esque type of show, right? They had like a UFO that would descend from the rafters, and they had all these props, and everyone had costumes, and like Like it was like just no holds. Like one guy only wore a diaper, one guy wore like a fencing mask. Everyone had like boas and wigs, and like there were all these characters, and like just
I want to do this so bad,
dude. I know.
They just like watching the footage of that era of the band is like
so cool.
Get that feeling that I get from time to time, which is like, fuck, I wish I was in that band.
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, like they went all out like on their shows, you know, and like so I mean there was a lot of money to be made, but they also spent all their money like on drugs or cars or fucking houses or wherever the fuck. Like they spent all the money they made. Like I'm not surprised at all that like when it came to when the clock turned over to 1980, they all were just kind of standing there like, well, yeah, like we spent all our money.
And also too, like their whole kind of visual and artistic brand, it makes a lot of sense to me why you would pick this. Like it really matches that Nate brand of creativity, and also in with Dub Robot, you know, with Wallace, like
we are totally like Black Market Dub Robot. We are totally disciples of P-Funk. So let's dive into Funkentelechy versus the Placebo Syndrome. And the first thing I want to point out is the word Funkentelechy.
I was just gonna say, like, because we've said it both ways so far.
Yeah.
Did you do that on purpose?
What?
Have you on purpose said the word Funkentelechy
or Funkentelechy? I don't know how to say it.
Have you said it both ways? Well, see, that's the thing, is in the song, they say it both ways. They go back and forth saying it both ways. So I was wondering if you did that on purpose. But this is, I think, the first time that I've seen somebody do that, where the title is intentionally pronounced both ways.
Yeah. Yeah, they play with it. It was probably whichever group of singers showed up that day were like, is this how you say it? Like, I don't know. Like, who knows? But so I want to break down, I want to start with like the concept of this record. And the way I want to dive into that is I want to break down Funkentelechy and what that means and the Placebo Syndrome and what that means. I want to examine first the etymology of the word Funkentelechy, okay? Because the etymology of, well, first off, Funkentelechy is a made-up word, right? George Clinton invented that word. That is something unique to this record. But entelechy, or entelechy, however you say it, is a Greek word, okay?
Oh.
And it's, what it means is, I'm just going to read the definition of entelechy, okay? Is the realization of potential, the supposed vital principle that guides the development and functioning of an organism or other system or organization. So it's the fully realized potential of funk.
Shit.
So it is like the fucking end game, the highest highs of funk that there is, right? That is one side, okay, of Funkentelechy versus the Placebo Syndrome.
The Avengers funk endgame.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Now the Placebo Syndrome, I mean, you got to examine what is a placebo, right? A placebo is something given to you that is supposed to give you some kind of benefit or something or other, or maybe you think it's benefiting you in some way, but it actually does nothing.
It's one thing.
You think it's one thing, and it's supposed to help you or do something for you, but it actually does nothing for you.
It's actually nothing.
It's actually nothing. It's empty, right? It's empty calories. It's an empty pill. It's a sugar pill, right?
Yeah.
So it is the idea of self-actualization and like real music, real like important creativity, right? Like the sublime, like almost godlike nature of good music and like soulful music versus the empty calories of commercialization. And in this specific instance, like disco, I think is what they were talking about back then.
Faking the funk,
like, and just music, like bullshit, just bullshit music, right? Just bullshit. And I fucking love that as a concept, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, that's what this show is. This show is shine a flat.
We're the Placebo?
No, we're the Funkentelechy.
Okay, good.
Come on, what the fuck?
Right, good.
It's this show, Playback, at its heart is shine a flashlight on the good shit, highlight the good shit, uplift the good stuff, right? And ignore and reject the placebo syndrome, reject the bullshit, right? Reject commercialization, reject this stuff that is just like a product, right? It's just like a crap, it's just empty product music, right? So I just like, I fucking love that as a concept, because it kind of is just, it really is just me in a nutshell. It is like my entire like philosophy on music, on life, on everything. Is just like there is good and there is bad, and it's important to embrace the good and reject the bad. Like, and you have to be able, you have to kind of self-actualize it and to be able to even recognize what the bad is, because it is it's like seditious, right? It sneaks up on you, right? You don't even know you're in the placebo syndrome while you're in it, right?
Yeah.
That's what's so insidious about it. That's what's so insidious about the placebo syndrome.
That's right, man. I mean, everybody is aware of these artists. Everybody knows 10 of them. Like, often the singer-songwriters and the amateur or not yet successful but intending to be musical artists out there. I count myself in that, by the way, but how often the ones who are making the most fucking unimaginative, like not interesting, not challenging, not dangerous, not honest music are the ones who are the most insistent that what they're doing is the honest, real thing. The ones who don't sing from their heart insist more than anybody else that they are singing. They think that they are. And you can tell it's not just like, ooh, I'm just going to lie and profit off it. No, they think that they are in touch with their real shit. And they don't realize that they're not. That they're singing fucking bullshit and they haven't scratched below the surface. Yeah.
I'm thinking like Taylor Swift, honestly. I'm sorry for the Swifties out there, but like she is like the epitome of that kind of thing, where she's just asleep at the wheel, thinks she's, heart's in the right, I think she thinks her heart's in the right place, but like is the queen of making just empty music. Like it's just the most empty bullshit.
I've never worked with her. I've never met her. But just from like a lot of my engineering career, I've worked mainly around like hip hop and a lot of pop artists, and a lot of really, really big ones. And just from what I've seen, the general impression that I get is that by and large, you can't get to that level of success if you're not in touch with something real.
There's a kernel of artistry at the core of her music, sure. And they use that kernel and they exploit it to the nth degree to get billions and billions and billions of dollars, right? But like, but there's a kernel, and surrounding that kernel is a big fleshy blob of nothing, right? It's just bullshit. It's nothing. There's no art to it, really, in my opinion. But so I mean, and you got that contrasted with, I don't know, take any, I would point like Amyl and the Sniffers are a band who are definitely Funkentelechy, okay? Like they are the real deal. They are punk rock. And you contrast a female artist like them versus Taylor Swift, and it's like it's a battle as old as time, right? This is like a very it's very black and white. And that's what I really love about the concept of this record. But I mean, that's just like kind of the ideas behind what's going on. But there's also a literal.
It goes deeper.
It goes deeper.
There's a
literal story, which
that this album tells.
You told me you kind of have wrapped your brain around it a little better than I think I have.
Yes. Okay. So basically, this album is about a duel between two characters. One is Starchild, and the other is Sir Nose, devoid of funk.
Sir Nose, devoid of funk.
Yes.
Starchild,
got no funk.
What does he say? He's the defender of the pleasure principle.
Yes.
Which I didn't look up what the pleasure principle was. I forget. But I mean,
I'm sure that is something that means something very specific in
the P-Funk lore.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. He says, this is the Star Child on another day, chasing the noses away, protector of the pleasure principle.
Yeah.
So,
and then there's the antagonist. So he's the protagonist. The antagonist is Sir Nose, devoid of funk.
Yeah. And the reason why he's Sir Nose is because it goes by the Pinocchio
rules,
which is that when you fake the funk, when you lie, your nose grows. And his nose is huge because Sir Nose, devoid of funk, is devoid of funk, and he will always be devoid of funk. He
swears that he'll never dance.
He'll never dance.
No matter what.
He is the anti-funk.
He is anti-funk. He'll never dance.
And he has what's called the snooze gun.
Oh, shit.
So he shoots people. He shoots people and puts them to sleep.
Yes.
So that they can't dance.
And Starchild, conversely, has the bop gun.
Yes.
And the bop gun, you shoot them with your bop gun. To make people dance, right? So they're trying to shoot each other to either make them not dance and snooze, or to make them dance with a bop gun. Yeah.
Yes. So the way that the story goes is there's a duel, and the story is told in greater detail in a comic book.
Let's go.
That came with. Do you have it?
I have it.
Oh my God!
It's so sick.
Okay.
Illustrated by what's the artist name? Overton
Lloyd.
Overton Lloyd.
Yeah.
Who is like the guy a cartoonist who did all the artwork for especially the Funkadelic stuff. But like here, if you're watching, you're gonna want to watch.
Yeah. If you're seeing the video version of the episode, Nate's holding it up. Yeah.
I believe that's Starchild.
No, that's Dr. Funkenstein.
That's Dr.
I believe. So he's like the judge. He's like mediating the duel.
Okay.
Right. So Starchild and Sir Nose, devoid of funk, are going to do a duel like the Old West style or the Old England style or whatever it is, where you stand back to back and then you take 10 paces, and then you turn around and you shoot. Right. But as they're taking their paces, they meet back to back and then they start walking. And as they're walking, Sir Nose, devoid of funk, is thinking to himself, and this is a cartoon, so he's thinking in a thought bubble, like, man, if I lose, that means that I have to dance. And he's like, I can never dance because I will always be devoid of funk. I will never dance. I swear it. I can't allow this to happen to me. So he's like, you know what I'm going to do? Before we even get to the 10th pace and I turn around, I'm just going to shoot myself. I'm just going to kill myself. I'm going to shoot myself in the head before we even duel. Now, meanwhile, Starchild, this is all of these moments happened on the album, by the way.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Starchild possesses the ability to see thought bubbles. So if you're thinking something, he can see the cartoon thought bubble over your head and he can read what you're thinking.
That is so sick.
So he sees what Sir Nose is thinking, and he turns around, and at the end, this is what the song Flashlight is about, is because his bop gun is also like kind of mixed in the lore with the flashlight.
Yeah.
And he shines the flashlight on Sir Nose, and Sir Nose starts dancing. And that's the song Flashlight at the end.
Sick.
and then is telling everyone in the audience, every listener, shine your light, shine your flashlight where there is no funk, bring the funk to the darkness.
So sick.
It's so dope.
So dope. Like such a cool. Me and Brandon have been making an album that integrates comic booky type stuff as well, and it's just it is just like right in line with like my aesthetic,
it's so
like
true.
Everything I love about
our next album that is coming out that we just submitted, sent off. It's coming next year. It's got a full backstory and concept and everything, just like this.
Like this. This not being an overt influence on it. Like I didn't listen to this and be like, we should do that. Cause like, I was hardly aware of this. Even I haven't even seen this before. I didn't even look at it.
The comic book aspect of it. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, God, it's just like so right in line with what we love. There's also like kind of a little Star Wars-esque scroll here.
That's true.
On the front.
Yeah,
I'd love to read it.
The words fading away into the horizon, which is trippy because this came out the same year as the first Star Wars, right? So that was quick. They were quick on the draw with that shit.
Must have been like literally right after. But this little scroll says, which I haven't even read this yet, but I'm sure this totally informs the story because it's the first thing you see before you open the comic book.
Yeah, what does it say?
It says, and it came to pass that upon his return, Dr. Funkenstein did find the planet to have completely lost the beat of the Funkentelechy and had fallen prey to the Placebo Syndrome, spread throughout the galaxy by the infamous Sir Nose devoid of funk. Driven by the genius of desperation, Funkenstein sends Starchild to do battle, armed with his greatest invention of all time, the bop gun. And I love it's called the bop gun because it's like, you do a bop, you fucking dance. You know what I mean? It's the dance gun.
Nope.
I don't know. God damn it. I love it so much. And, I'm sure people are like... I'm sure people are wondering why I picked this one over Mothership Connection. Which is the more famous one.
Yep.
But this kind of leads me into the next thing I want to talk about, which is that I just think that I don't know how familiar you are with Mothership Connection, but
a little bit.
I just think that this one is the more sophisticated album musically.
I agree with you. Yep.
I think Mothership Connection has like honestly super iconic artwork, its own cool story with a lot of these shared characters are in it. But this was the follow-up to that one, and I just feel like it's Mothership Connection just like one-upping itself. Like
more fully realized.
Yeah.
We've had a few albums like that on the show so far, right? Which are like
it's not the famous one, but it's actually the better one if you really dig into it.
Where the famous one is where they touched on a new zone, and then after that really kind of perfected it and took it to its full potential. And like Black Moses was to Hot Buttered Soul, and that's the one that I can think of right now.
Totally.
I'm sure we've done others.
No, there's a few. Yeah.
Also, back in the YouTube show era of Playback, when we did Physical Graffiti, which is the apotheosis and perfection of the best Led Zeppelin album, right?
Interesting. I don't remember that.
That was the consensus that we reached on that, right?
Of the episode, not from my perspective, but okay. Interesting.
Okay. That's how I remember it.
I remember saying something about Led Zeppelin 3. I don't remember now, but
right,
anyway.
Yeah, which was before they touched on their golden concept, like right before, actually, because I believe the next one, Led Zeppelin 4, is right when they found it.
I don't think we should relitigate this right now. Yeah, we don't need to relitigate this. But I want to point our flashlight now at the musicians and just like let's talk about the record, like the music on this record, like the musicians and the musicianship of this record, because it's brilliant. And like going back to Mothership Connection, I think the reason I like this one a little more is not just because it's more kind of explosive musically, it's more complex. Mothership Connection is a lot. it's really like guitar, bass, drums focused. And this one does something really fun, which is it introduces synthesizers and lots of synthesizers. Like I think Mothership Connection has some synth stuff too. I'm sure it does. But in this one, it's like there are whole songs where like Bernie Worrell on the keys is like he is fully like the backbone of the song, like Flashlight. It's like it is his synth playing is the bass part. There's not even a bass player on that.
He's playing bass on the synth. I can't remember where I saw it or read it or something, but like it was a bass part that Bootsy Collins like didn't want to play or something like that.
Interesting.
For whatever reason. And then
he plays drums on that song. That's the funny thing about Flashlight is and like we're gonna get all over the place, I'm sure, but it's like I don't even know how much Bootsy Collins is on this because he's the guy who's like you probably most associate with Parliament Funkadelic outside of George Clinton. He's the second
most famous P-Funk guy behind George Clinton.
But
for sure,
I don't even think he's like on this as much as people say or would really assume. Trippy. It's a different guy named I have his name written down.
The bass player?
Yeah, different bass player, Cordell Mawson. Who I think
I believe he pronounces it Mosson because
okay.
when they were being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he introduces himself, and when he says his own name, he's like, "My name is Cordell Mosson." That's French.
That's fucking sick. Good for him. Love a Francophile. Love it.
Yes.
I have a feeling he's the bass player on this album.
I think you're right.
I think Bootsy plays drums on Flashlight. There's one other tune that I see Bootsy has credit on, like writing credit. So I would have to assume that
Bop
is
Gun.
Yeah.
Bop
so
Gun.
Bop Gun. So that's got to be Bootsy. Bootsy's he probably bookends the record, probably.
Although George Clinton was famously inaccurate with his writer attributions.
Yeah, because then you got him credited on Funkentelechy as well.
Oh, right.
It's probably split. It's probably split. Like, well, no, it would be Bootsy playing bass on 2, Mosson playing bass on 3, and then Flashlight doesn't have a bass player.
I'm not familiar enough with their playing to be able to tell by ear, which is usually kind of the more reliable way, you know, like
I think that there was like a P-Funk kind of house style at this point, because like if you told me that all the bass parts were played by one person, like one guy on this, I'd believe you. You know, like they don't sound to me.
It sounds cohesive.
It sounds really cohesive. It doesn't sound like radically different from song to song. Now, if some of them are Bootsy, some of them are Cordell Mosson. That's what it seems to indicate on like the writing credits, and like I don't know. I think that's relatively, you could probably trust that. But you know, kind of like we were saying earlier, it's like there's so many, like you can just hone in on each like grouping of musicians or whatever, and it's like so you had Bootsy and his brother Catfish. Catfish is also on one song, I think. Catfish Collins. He might be
plays
on
Flashlight.
Flashlight, yeah. So it's so funny to imagine, because when you think of Bootsy Collins, he has star-shaped sunglasses. He wears platform shoes. He looks like
the shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads. He looks like fucking who's the guy from Rocky Horror Picture Show? He looks like him.
Dr. Frankenfurter.
Dr. Frankenfurter. He totally is like Dr. Frankenfurter. He's just this wildly eccentric, kind of like out of left field, like space alien bass player guy. But he got his start in James Brown's band, which is
not only him, also his brother Catfish, and also the horn players, the horny horns.
Maceo and Fred Wesley, I think is his name. Fred Wesley.
Maceo Parker, and
Maceo
the sax
Parker,
player, and Fred Wesley,
who
the
I would like.
player.
I would like. I would compare them favorably to like the Scotalites horn players. Like that's essentially like the funk equivalent.
They're better horn players, that's for sure. From an objective point of view, just like technique and ability, they're better. Yeah.
But yeah, all these guys were basically the backbone of the JBs, which was James Brown's band. And like
a particular era.
Yeah.
Right? Because James Brown had an early band and then kind of his like later era band. That's the JBs. And that was a lot of members of P-Funk were that band. Yeah.
They're like the last great era of James Brown, I would say. James Brown still had a lot of cool songs, but that was the last like perfect era, I would say, of James Brown was when he had these guys in his band.
The last era when he was making songs that he would continue to be known, that would still be amongst his greatest ever songs.
Yeah. And it's insane to think about because Bootsy Collins was 18 years old when he was in James Brown's band. In like 1970, he was 18 years old playing in James Brown's band. And it's like, you couldn't be in a more different band than P-Funk coming out of fucking James Brown at that point. Like James Brown at that point, you not only like you all had to wear uniforms. Everyone had uniforms. Everyone had like costumes they wore, but they were all like matching.
And those uniforms were like a
tailored
suit. Yeah, exactly.
He would like famously like dock your pay if you were off by like a bar or you missed a beat or something like that, or you flubbed a note or something.
Each musical mistake cost you a set amount of money.
Out
of your pay. Yeah.
So he was just really strict and like I guess you could describe him as like very conservative when it comes to funk music. Is like there were rules. If you break the rules, you're fucked. You're out. You're fired. You lose money. He was really hardcore. He was like a drill sergeant as a band leader, and then going from that, I mean, I can't imagine a better like that was basically Bootsy Collins like college, right? That was like his college experience was like that was his music school, was being James Brown's bass player, and then going from that, having that like that musicality drilled into you in such like a hardcore way, and then going to George Clinton and him saying, now do whatever they would tell you not to do, right? Break the rules.
Right. Now with George Clinton is do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
Freaking explore the space, man. Express yourself. And I really do recommend that, man. I really do believe that like that is such a beneficial sequence of doing things when people are trying to learn music or whether it's playing it or producing it.
Learn the rules so you can break them, right?
Exactly. When you're starting, I really recommend like follow that sequence, that path. Like get the old school, the traditional, the conservative way of doing it, quote unquote, correctly. Get so many repetitions of that early on so that it's just burned into your freaking brain. And really like it seems antithetical to what a lot of creative people advocate for you, but do not start free. Don't start free. Don't start exploring wherever your soul wants to take you. It's actually a mistake, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Begin the conservative way. And then once you get to the point where, you're still young in your journey, but you've done it a bazillion times, the rigid way, now you're free. Now watch what you do. Right. Holy crap. You will fucking set the world on fire.
Yeah, like you have to understand the theme to create a new iteration on it, right? You have to know the music before you can reinvent the music. It just doesn't really work that way. You can't start from a reinvention because I think that's a really shallow way to approach music, which is just that like, I'm going to start by throwing the rules out, right? Because then it's like, ironically, and like you said, kind of antithetically, I think that what that winds up giving you a lot of times is it can be really shallow, right? It can just be kind of,
right.
It's not interesting.
Exactly. You have to learn the vocabulary to be able to have something interesting to contribute to the conversation, you know?
Yeah.
And really throughout the history of great music and musicians, it's really full of people who seem like they came out of nowhere as a creative outlier and a rule breaker. But each one of those individuals, when you really look at each one of their stories, they actually really did normally, almost every time, begin in a very conventional place. And their background is from a much less imaginative place in music before they did the thing that they are known for.
Yeah,
before
like
they broke those rules.
Look at like somebody who I'm sure all of P-Funk was like obsessed with, like Jimi Hendrix. Like you go back to the history of Jimi.
He's a perfect example of that.
He did the Chitlin circuit, and he was fucking a Little Richard's guy, and like, you know, it was like he was a very buttoned up kind of dude who slowly over time couldn't keep his buttons buttoned, you know, but it was because he had to shed those licks and learn all that.
Completely conventional, boring guitarist career.
Yeah.
Right up until the point when he wasn't, and then he did what he did.
Yeah. Yeah. But without that foundation, I mean, it's like, what would Jimi Hendrix even be without that foundation of like blues and R&B? Like it would be like crazy person music. He would just be like a weirdo. He wouldn't have been famous, I don't think.
Well, it wouldn't have been interesting, because what's really interesting is when someone is doing something that is breaking rules on top of the foundation of it's pushing beyond where we already are.
Yeah.
It's not just doing something else in a corner.
Yeah.
That no one is doing. You know what I mean? It's coming into the main room where everyone is all together, pooling our minds, trying to come up with good music and blowing our minds, showing all of us something that we hadn't thought of yet. You know, that's really what it is. And
I think that whole concept that you can kind of, you know, you can get really granular with the Collins brothers and their relationship to James Brown and P-Funk, but like that concept right there is kind of the idea of entelechy, right? It is your telechinizing yourself, right? You're realizing your potential through
you're going Super Saiyan.
Yeah, going Super Saiyan with the funk. Yeah. And even if you compare, you know, James Brown to P-Funk, it really is like P-Funk really is like the final form of funk, and this being, in my opinion, like the final like great funk album too, like even just in the genre, like it's like kind of one of the last ones that is like this impressive.
Oh, right. Okay. Like a bit of a fall off after this album.
This is like the peak, I think. This is like the final peak of funk in its heyday, I think. And before it turned into something else, you know, before they shifted and, you know, it morphed into other kinds of music. And these guys all proliferated out and just spread their influence throughout, you know, music history. And
right, yeah, funk really isn't a thing that is like there's so few examples of styles of music. Like one of them is hip hop. What else is there? Rock and roll, but even then, you could say the rock and roll's kind of died. But basically, like a style of music that didn't die, or didn't kind of have a time. And then it disappeared. Who knows? I mean, it's sort of strange to imagine a world where hip hop is in the past.
Yeah.
But anything is possible, I guess. But funk and like so many other styles of music, like it came out of something and then it turned into something else and it was gone, you know? And, you know, obviously I know I'm in the words of Tim Robinson, I'm not a stupid fucking idiot. I know that, you know, that people still play funk. Yes, I know that.
Same.
But you know what I mean when in terms of that it is a it's a creative force. It is a green pasture of like a main watering hole of a creative place in music, like it, like every other style of music that did die out in the way that I'm talking about, is relegated to people who are paying tribute to it now forever.
It's not a current thing anymore. Much like jazz. Like jazz is like, sure, people still make jazz, people still play jazz, but jazz is not like a major musical force in the way that it was in the 50s and 60s, where it's like, oh my God, have you heard the new jazz album by Mingus that just came out? Like, nobody's fucking doing that anymore.
And truth be told, reggae is one of those styles.
Reggae is like that as well. It's all archaeological now, right? We're all going back with our brushes, Dr. Grant style, searching up some old dinosaur bones, and scaring all the children, saying, this was really fucking cool, it was really good at one point. You should still like it like me.
Yeah. Like, so, I mean, what other styles of music are not like that? Like hip hop is not like that.
Hip hop and pop. And that's kind of it now. That's all that's left. That's all music is now, is hip hop and pop. And rock to a very, very lesser degree than it used to be. We're in the placebo syndrome, dog. That's where we are. We're in the placebo syndrome. That is where we are musically in this world.
Last thing is Bernie Worrell.
Yeah.
Something cool about him is that it is all the awesome music and collaborations that he made outside of the scope of funk music.
Oh, like fucking Talking Heads.
Right. My first main exposure to Bernie Worrell, well, the first one was back when I worked at Center Staging, and I was like in my early 20s, and like Bernie Worrell came through and was rehearsing there with somebody.
Oh damn.
And just all the other dudes who worked in the warehouse who were like, "You don't know who Bernie Worrell is? What the fuck is wrong with you? Fucking who's this little white boy who doesn't know who Bernie Worrell is?" I'm like, I don't know.
I think it speaks to how fucking cool Talking Heads are, that they got the brain behind Flashlight and were like, let's put him in our band. Like, he's fucking sick.
So then that was my second exposure to it, is Stop Making Sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
The infamous. There's another album that we are gonna have to do at some point on the show.
I had that same thought today, was that if we ever break the mold and do a pick that's kind of off kilter, I would do the movie Stop Making Sense, like where we talk about the movie, the album, everything, like, because it's amazing.
Yeah, because we've had like a soft rule of no compilation albums, and we never specifically talked about it, but I feel like it's sort of understood that we're not counting like live albums.
But maybe we should.
That's sort of the only.
Me too. It's the only one
that I would make an exception for is Stop Making Sense.
Agree.
And so when I saw that, it's just like, who is that?
Yeah,
who is that guy?
He is the star of that album in the same way that I think he's the star of this album. Like, he
undeniable virtuoso. He's a fucking genius.
Yeah,
he's a genius. And you just like look up clips of the various P-Funk bands that he would perform live with, and just look at shit of Bernie Worrell on stage, man. It's unreal.
Like, even in the first song in what is it, Endangered Species, Bop Gun, is that the first tune?
Yep. With the bop gun.
It's like that one section in the middle where it's like bum 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 bum, where it's like this constant like ascending, like crescendo up, but it never, it's constantly rolling over on itself, and always feels like this momentum like pushing it upwards.
Yeah.
Right. But it also never starts over, and it never falls off. It's just like this constant tension of it, like moving up and up and up and up and up. And that's all Bernie Worrell, and the way he's like phrasing these inversions that he's playing of these chords, it just, and that's all over this record, where it's just like, he has this pulse.
He's so skilled with the keyboard that he can do magic tricks with it.
Yeah.
It's like the staircase in Mario 64 when you're going up, and it feels like the music is going, and they had the Nintendo composers like had to like find this mathematical there's like science to it where it feels like the notes are constantly ascending.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yes.
Yeah.
He does that on the first song, and it's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just like all of his synth stuff on this is, and it's like right off the top too. Like, there's that in the right channel. If you're listening to the record, it's like this synth, just kind of like, it's almost like it like materializes, just like this like popping kind of sound. In the right side that is kind of like in there with the guitars, because there's two guitars that kind of start the record. I don't know. It's just sick. And he has that like classic kind of 70s synth tone where it's like synth strings that are like so dated, but like in a cool way. Like they're really cool. Like it ties it to 1977 in a way that is like, you're never going to unhear it as like kind of a dated synth sound, but it's so sick. Yeah. Especially because that's interspersed with a lot of synth sounds that are like iconic and honestly probably more thought of alongside 90s like hip hop samples and stuff. Let's go into standout songs, because I want to get into some of these songs, and I really want to know what your favorite songs were.
Yeah, so here we go. Standout songs, which each one of us picks 3, and there's 6 songs on this album. So I wonder what will happen. You want me to go first? Or
yeah, you go first. You go first.
Okay. Yeah, after the travesty of last time of you trying to fucking take my songs from me by any way you could last time.
All right, so my first song.
Okay, first one I choose is Cerno's Devoid of Funk.
Oh, cool. Okay, not one of my picks, but I'm really glad you picked this.
Just that's good. It's man, I don't know. It just has such like style, and it is one of
boo-doop, boo-doop,
right.
Boom, boom, boom,
boom. Yeah, that freaking riff, man. The bass line.
Yeah. Really like creepy, like creeping up on you, insidious.
It sounds like walking.
Yeah,
And not just walking, it sounds like creeping.
Yeah,
it sounds like what the character looks like, which is like a dude with a cape and like a big hat and like a like a dastardly, like that cartoon character, just like creeping on his toes the way that he does.
He's like 75% long legs too, just creepy. Yeah,
so some like a suit with big shoulder pads and a cape,
a cane.
It's so good. Yeah. It's just like evoked with a bass line.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's good music making. Right,
and in the guitars too. I mean, the guitars, it's very rare on this whole record where the guitars aren't doubling the bass at least once in the song, not the whole time, not like a reggae stick part or something, but like
that's probably the most prominent example on the album right there of the guitar doubling the bass right there.
Totally.
Right? Yeah.
And it's also one of those things I love is like, you've got a concept album, right? So you come up with music that reinforces like the theme of the part of the story you're trying to tell, right? So it's like, just like we said, you come up with this like creepy kind of murky, spooky kind of tune, and it's the theme for Cerno's Devoid of Funk.
There are so many concept albums out there, and I feel that like that term is like really applied very generously to a lot of them, of like meaning that it's very generous to include this album in what we're talking about, which is an album that tells a story like in the way that a book or a movie would.
Yeah.
Because of how loosely the music really does follow the story.
Totally.
And this is one where that right there is such an example of like, it's so in the story.
Yeah.
It so closely follows the story that it is claiming to tell. I feel like the gold standard is like The Wall.
Sure.
you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Where like each song musically portrays and evokes in your mind's eye the visuals and the location and the characters that it's supposed to at this point in the story.
Right.
This is what you're supposed to be feeling. This is what you're supposed to be seeing. You know, this is like fucking the wall level shit here.
Yeah. And this song too is so cool because it has all these like nursery rhyme interpolations in it. It's got 3 blind mice, right? And what's the one that's like, is it Looney Tunes? Yeah.
It's Looney Tunes.
So
and then it stops right there.
But
it doesn't do the it doesn't do the second part.
But you know what they do in that moment in the song? Because it's long. It's like a 10-minute song, right? Isn't that song like super long?
Yeah.
At that moment, when they all of a sudden drop in this psychotic Looney Tunes horn drop, Sir No's Devoid of Funk comes back. Like, that's like his character introduction. Yeah. He's like, whoopsh, like, it's so funny.
It's totally out of the key, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? It's super jazzy, super like
it's kind of minory too. They do something to it with the horns. Like, the harmonies.
It's the clash. It's the clash that you're hearing because it's like a Phrygian mode thing. Or no, sorry. Right. So, but that
it's just like a whole major thing.
It's just a major key freaking thing. So it's the clash of hearing that in the context of Phrygian, which is like even more minor than a minor key. It's one of the most minor sounding flavors that you can have in a song, which is what gives it that creepy, evil villain scheming feel. Mm-hmm. It's hearing it in that context is bizarre,
super bizarre.
And you've never heard the Looney Tunes tune in that musical context in your entire life. It's a tune that you've been hearing your whole life, and this is the first time that you've ever been hearing it in an evil Phrygian context.
Yeah,
and so it feels like it's evil, but the notes that they're playing, like that is literally exactly, and they're that good. Maceo Parker and Fred Wesley are that good. Like, that is note for note Looney Tunes.
Yeah. They play it fast as shit too. It's like real fast. And it's in the pocket too of the groove that they're doing. Like, it's weird. It's weird. But, and there's also the whole like little 3 blind mice thing, which is like, whatever they're doing with that, I couldn't quite follow like lyrically, like what that had to do with the story. But it comes with one of my favorite lyrics in the whole album, which is like 3 blind mice. And then George Clinton, as some character, goes, "I love those mices to pieces." Instead of calling them, "I love those mice to pieces," he makes it rhyme, and he calls them, he says the plural of a mouse is mices instead of mice, which is so good. It's so fucking good.
I love those mices to pieces. And that's another thing that they turn around, sort of like how they do Funkentelechy and Funkadelic. They say the 3 blind mice, those blind 3 mice.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. And I think there's other examples where they turn something into multiple versions.
Well, and they even do it with the rhythm,
it's
right?
A theme.
They even do it rhythmically in this song, which is where they basically almost like kind of doing it in the round, not doing it in the round, but it's like we're used to it coming in on like a certain, like on the downbeat, right? And later in the song, they actually do it like they start that vocal phrase like a beat off so that it's off of like the rest of the song, like it comes in at like the wrong time, quote unquote.
In the round,
it's kind of like in the round type of thing that they're doing. So it's like it's one of those instances where I'm glad you picked this song because it's really
so good.
It's so good, and it's really indicative of something they do all across the longer songs on this album, which is like yes, the songs are really long, but they're constantly turning the song on its head and flipping it in a way that is really interesting, and you're constantly just trying to keep up with like, how are they doing this, right? Like, what are they doing to this form that just keeps it really interesting.
Keeps it interesting for over 10 minutes.
10 fucking minutes, yeah. On top of it just being, all the virtuosic kind of just like playing that's on it.
Yeah, like the other part that I can't even play, the like the bridge part, I can't even fucking play.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sick, man.
So sick.
And then back.
Also, you speak a lot about like note lengths in bass playing.
Yeah.
This is one where it's like, I mean, the bass part, he's literally playing like 16th notes. Like, he's playing so short. It's like
that.
Teeny tiny amounts of bass skip through.
And with a longer note length in contrast, right? Because it's
totally.
It's.
Yep.
And it's not. It's.
Yep.
Yeah. How short can you get that? Nah.
True. Yes.
It's totally different. Yeah.
And like the bass tone as well. Like, did you pick up on the fucking bass
growly,
tone on this record?
Yeah, man. Super growly and gating.
It's like they notched up everything between like 500 and 1K. It's just like completely notched up. You hear it's all mids. It sounds like just a bass with the tone knob like turned all the way up, like the treble tone knob just like turned all the way up. A lot of times you kind of mix that into taste, right? You don't just turn it up all the way. And it's not something you would think they would do in a P-Funk album, which is like give the bass this really like nasally character, because it still has all the bottom end you would think would be there and then some, but it's also like this really gritty bass tone that is like kind of antithetical to, again, a lot of like the reggae bass tones that we would typically kind of be more aware of or
Right, yeah. The bass serves more of a place in the mix of these funk records, more similar to where it lives in like disco.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than like reggae or
right
hip hop or something.
Yeah.
But another last little thing about this bass line in this song is so funk is famously based around what is called the one.
The one, dude. I was going to bring up the concept of the one.
So, and Bootsy Collins is one of like the most famous purveyors of this knowledge, where, they ask him like, Bootsy, how do you play funk bass? He's like, all you have to do is play on beat 1. Right? So if your song is in E, like, all you gotta do is do 1, and then whatever you want, and then 1, and then whatever you want, and then 1, and then. It doesn't matter what you do as long as 1, something 1. So this bass line is super, 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 super funky. And it's right smack dab in the middle of the funkiest album of the funkiest band. But the notes of this bass line intentionally avoid the beat 1. Sir knows, devoid of funk. The anti-funk
is devoid of the one.
Yeah. I am devoid. What does he say in the beginning? He says, I am Sir Nose devoid of funk. I've always been devoid of funk. I shall continue to be devoid of funk. Mm-hmm. So when you count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. 1.
Yep.
Right? It's interplaying off of 1.
Yeah.
And one of the only beats that it does not play on
is 1.
That's a concept album.
That's a concept right
there. That's like advanced
Advanced.
This is like Nobel Prize winning art work, like music work here.
I did not even pick that up, and I'm so glad you pointed that out. That is so sick. Because
so sick.
I would like to believe they were sitting in the studio and thought that out.
I hope they did.
I hope they did.
I haven't found, it's not like I researched the shit out of this. I left 99% of the research on the table that I didn't read, but I didn't see anybody pointing that out.
And it's perfect if it's the theme of the villain, right?
And the one is so important, by the way, that when you look at the comic book thing in this, where they're dueling is under a giant monolithic stone number 1. There's like a monolith, like in 2001: A Space Odyssey, and it is the one, the literal one standing there. And when Devoid of Funk, see, there it is. They're standing under the one. And when Devoid of Funk gets shot by the bop gun, which we're looking at there, he now gets taken over by the one. He's dancing on the one. That's how important. That's how important it is in funk. Yeah. So.
Amazing.
So yeah, that's my first choice.
Okay, let's go to another one.
Second one,
I'm crossing my fingers. We just pick all 6 songs.
I know how cool would that be.
I don't know if that's a wrap.
I feel like you're gonna pick this one too.
Okay.
Because I heard you mention it before. My second choice is Wizard of Finance.
Dog.
Can we talk about Wizard of Finance?
This is easily my favorite song on the whole album. So yeah, let's talk about it.
All right. So this is on your list too then.
Big time.
Yeah. It's such a great song. It's a great concept. I love the concept. It's so like...
Me too.
Like it's that great meeting of being so simple but clever.
Yep.
Of like, just combining those thoughts of like, I'm being a whiz at Wall Street and that I'm going to invest all that wealth in my love to you, baby. And that's it. That's the whole idea.
Isn't it like the sweetest sentiment ever?
Yes.
It's so like actually romantic. Like gives me the chills when I listen to that song. 'Cause I'm like, this is a beautiful sentiment to tell to someone. Like, and like, okay, what made me, I have kind of conflicting feelings on that, making me feel that way, because we're so American, right? This is such an American thing. Painfully so. We're so American that
California.
The idea of giving your money away to someone is like the most romantic thing we can think of. It's like the most romantic gesture possible. Is like the idea of like being willing to lose your money because you just want to show someone you love them.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's even like it's using the analogy of wealth to my love for you.
Yeah.
Like that is the greatest and best like comparison that I could make. It's like, you know how much I love you? My love for you is similar to money.
Money. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Please. Wow. Like,
have you come across,
I'll marry you, like,
have you come across like a lot of people basically saying that like, oh, this is like the one song that like doesn't quite fit the theme or concept or whatever, and it's like a break from everything else, which like I've seen that a couple times in other like reviews of this record, and I'm like sitting there being like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? This song is like perfectly in line with everything they're already talking about lyrically on the record. Like the idea of like conflating like your wealth of love with the wealth of money, like that those two things are interchangeable, that's something you could only feel if you are fully Funkentelechyzed.
Right. It's
you know what
funky.
I mean?
That's a funky concept.
That's a funky hippie ass
love.
Concept.
Money, wealth equals love. Like that's a funky concept.
Yeah. And the idea of like, like if I was a Wall Street finance expert, I would spend all my money on you or whatever. Like, it's just like, it's something no one would do. Like it's not something we would do. It's antithetical to the Placebo Syndrome and its soldiers,
Dude, check out these lyrics. If I had plenty of money, I would probably lose it in 1 year. I'd be busy buying you flowers, girl. just to show I appreciate your being here.
Isn't that amazing?
It's such good lyrics.
It's such amazing lyrics, and it's so simple.
And then the chorus is just, it's your love, and can I kiss you? Can I squeeze you? Can I hug you?
Yeah, it's just I love you.
It's genius.
It is.
And also too, I'm realizing too, it's definitely hearkening back to the Parliaments. It's in 6/8. This is a doo-wop song.
It is, yeah.
This is a doo-wop song being played by Parliament.
I think that's why people try and act like this isn't part of the rest of the concept or something, because it is a doo-wop thing and it's more parliament-y, I guess, or whatever. But I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, listen closer, please. Like,
here's the next verse. If I were a wizard of finance, I would probably invest my life in you. Okay. That's
so good.
See, this is what you do with an analogy, with a simile, with a metaphor, people.
Yeah.
This is good lyric writing. If I were a wizard of finance, I would probably invest my life in you. My dividend would be so tremendous, baby, even Dow Jones wouldn't believe it's true.
Astoundingly good lyric writing. Astoundingly good lyric writing.
It's the loving cat. It's
also like
cat.
One of my favorite things that he does in that, I think it's the second verse where he says, I'll spend my money in 1 year. If I had a lot of money, I'd spend it in 1 year. Okay.
It's just buying you flowers.
Okay. If
I was a fucking billionaire, I would be broke because of how many flowers I would buy you.
Yeah.
God damn.
One thing I love about that, a subtle kind of detail I love about that lyric is that he says he would do it in 1 year, right? In 1 year. Which not only says, I'm going to like inundate you with my love every single day in perpetuity for a fucking year, right? It's also like that lyric kind of grounds his love in reality in a very unrealistic scenario, right? A lot of people, I think, if they were writing this song, they would say, I'd spend all my money in 1 day. That's how much I love you. Which, like, I think if you said that to a woman, they would be like, whatever, dude. Like, you're fucking full of shit. And like, no one can spend that much money. Never heard that before. And like, you can't actually spend that much money in 1 day. Nobody can. If you had $1 million, $1 billion, whatever.
Not even realistic.
It's not even realistic. But like,
next.
But yeah, swipe left. But ironically, spreading it out over a year kind of grounds it in a way that really makes it more sentimental to me.
Right. It's because I've thought about this.
Yeah.
Like girl, like this is not just me. These are not just the ideas that are coming to the top of my head right now. And I'm just trying to say this to you just to woo you.
Yeah.
It's like, I've done the math.
Yeah.
I've thought about about buying you flowers and the logistics that go into the flower buying that I'm going to do. I have spreadsheets, girl. You know what I mean? Like
at $40 a bouquet every day,
exactly.
I'd run out of money in 1 year.
Yes,
yeah,
it's romantic, and it's amazing too because it's like the question of what is romantic can be a very kind of hard to pin down thing.
Yeah,
hard is sort of an elusive concept.
Yeah,
but man, if you want to know what. Listen to the song "Wizard of Finance." That is romantic.
I think it's the best song on the record, in my opinion. Like, and it is nice in a way that it is like a song in the middle of like these crazy behemoth kind of jams that are happening.
Right. See, that's one of the reasons why I picked it, and one of the reasons why I like it is because it's one of the two songs that is more of a traditional. The structure of it is a traditional straight ahead pop song kind of. But that being said, even though it is more of a verse chorus type of a traditional song, it is still, just like the others, only 2 chords back and forth the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's also more just kind of amazing like Bernie Worrell magic where it's like stuff that just feels like it's swirling and it never ends. Like the bass part where it's just walking up like boo doo doo boo doo doo boo doo doo boo doo, and
yeah, the friggin'
just it's so good.
Dude, the guitar, I don't know who plays
the bass ascending while the guitar is descending. It just creates this like swirling kind of thing that is really hypnotic.
Parliament loves to swirl.
Yeah, they do.
They love to swirl. And I don't know which guitar it is. Which of the, how many guitarists are on this album?
There's mainly
one,
two,
three,
and also a third.
Four.
Yeah, four.
Okay, but two main guys. Whoever's on the left ear, he's playing some magic in this song.
Dude.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just that little move.
It's really old school stuff.
It's old school. Right. That is not a groundbreaking lick.
Yeah.
That is like you might, if you're into like doo-wop and soul music, you may learn that lick in the first month of picking up the guitar. But that might be part of why it's so genius that it's in there.
Yeah. Well, and it's just pulling it back to that romantic kind of 50s place, right? It's something simple. It harkens back to a simpler time, simple feelings, like, just I love you, girl. Like, it's.
By the way, it's also the Lover's Rock chord shape. I knew there was a reason why it felt so right to me, because this is one of the most classic chord shapes in reggae. And in, like all the way back to Rocksteady through the reggae era. And this is what became established as the Lover's Rock chord shape, which is 1 to 2. And it's the whole time through. And then he's in the... That shit is so hard to play. It's so good.
And there's other ones that I think go up too. I think there's another guitar part that goes da 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 da. It goes up.
They do that move multiple times. Yeah, that thing. He's doing that on like the third variation of that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, oh my God.
It's genius.
These guys are so good.
It's genius.
Amazing Maceo Parker solo.
Oh man.
Amazing synth solo.
I feel like we haven't even touched on how brilliant the horny horns are on this, but
yeah. So this pick, the horny horns is one of the things that I love about it. Wizard of Finance, and same thing about my third last pick, Placebo Syndrome.
Yeah. Okay.
Placebo Syndrome. So this is the other one that is like.
So you've picked the Placebo Syndrome songs.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I picked none of the Funkentelechy songs. I picked all of the Placebo Syndrome songs. Yeah. I mean, I think the reason for that is just because I like what's going on with them musically. It's not really like because I latched onto that's what they are thematically.
Because you're the Darth Vader of the show? It
could be, but that seems like something that exactly what Darth Vader would say. But this is the other one, along with Wizard of Finance, that is more kind of structured like a classic rock and roll or pop song.
Yeah. It's also very down tempo, or not down tempo, but just like more understated. It's more low key. It's very wistful song.
Yeah,
like it's kind of perfect for the Placebo Syndrome. It's like, I don't know the lyrics exactly, but it's like, when you're up and feeling down, you're in the syndrome, and it's like very kind of like it's kind of it's a bummer. It's like,
it's lulling you.
Yeah.
Because remember, what is Sir Nose has? It's the sleep gun. What is it called?
Yeah,
it's like something
like that.
The snooze gun.
The snooze gun. The snooze gun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very snoozy.
Mm-hmm.
You've just been shot by the snooze gun.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, so it has more complex chord shapes than the other songs on the album. It's the only one, as far as I know, that has like moments where the chord shape moves out of the key and then back in, like the way that a traditional pop song would, right? And then coming back,
Yeah. It's a really interesting chord shape.
Yeah, because the main thing is it's like in a Mixolydian kind of a thing, which is like the rock and roll, the funk chord shape and everything, but it moves out of it and then comes back home. And then again, the horny horns, man. The
yeah, and then it comes
so
back.
Sick.
When all the smiles are out of town, you're going round and round. You're in the syndrome. So good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when all the smiles are out of town, you're going round and round. You find the syndrome. So good. So good, man. So many instances on this record where the lyrics reflect the music so perfectly and like vice versa. Like they were just really fucking on top of their shit when they were making this.
One of the hallmarks of a lot of concept albums throughout music history is that they are often the brainchild of a single person.
Mm. Yeah. There's like 50 people.
Exactly. So maybe George Clinton is responsible for the concepts in the story. Maybe single-handedly, possibly. Although I would really believe if it wasn't, if there were other collaborators on that too.
I wonder how much the cartoonist had involved.
And the cartoonist.
Yeah.
But certainly not what these like chordal, melodic, baseline ways in which they're tying in with the theme. I'm positive he did not come up with that.
No. Well, and like he didn't play an instrument as far as I could tell. What did he play? Yeah. He was a singer and a producer and like...
He was a great songwriter in the, you know, he was a Michael Jackson type songwriter, which is All I Have Is My Voice. And Jello Biafra is another great one of these songwriters where all I have is my voice.
That is amazing you came up with those two examples.
Well, they're two of the like most prominent examples of dudes who wrote copious amount of songs, just fully wrote them with their voice.
Yeah.
You know, they heard the song in their head and they just sing it and describe it to others or record multiple tracks of their voice humming it and doing that onto a tape and show it to someone who knows how to turn it into notes, you know? But yeah, George Clinton was like that. Yeah. So, I mean, the level of detail and sophistication that's in the music, I'm sure, was put there by the rest of the collective on their instruments.
Absolutely. Had to.
But maybe all these ideas and stories and characters too. Maybe like, it seems like this is a concept album that was made by committee, you know?
Yeah, but in the best way you could possibly say that, you know. It's like, it's like and
it didn't suck. The ending product was good.
Was really cool. Yeah. Amazing.
All right, so those are my 3 picks.
So all right,
what do you got?
My 3 were going. I had 2 and Wizard of Finance, but I'm going to switch it. So we're just going to talk about all 6 songs now.
Oh shit! All right.
I was originally going to also talk about Wizard of Finance, but we already did.
What were the 2 that you already had picked before I said anything?
Oh, I was going to do Bop Gun, Wizard of Finance, and Flashlight, but I actually really have a lot to say about Funkentelechy as well. So,
wow, that was going to be the one that got left off. All
yeah,
right.
Which is so good. Yeah, so I mean, we kind of touched on Bop Gun a little bit already. We don't have to go super deep into Bop Gun, but I mean, like, kicks off the record, great track 1. Love a good track 1. We love a good track 1 on this show. I think it's just like such a cool way to open the album. Like if you listen to it carefully, in the right and left channels, there are these 2 guitars that are starting on this like 16th note pattern, right? But it's like they leave out the one. It's like yeah. So
that's true. They're playing on like every note except for one.
They're playing on the and of one, right? So they're technically sort of on the one. Yeah. Super sick way to start the song. And it just kicks off the whole dual concept, right? Where it's like, on guard, defend yourself.
Dude.
They start with the singers.
Guitars back to back. Oh,
yeah.
It's so deep.
It's so sick. Everything in this record is just like, it's in conversation with itself constantly. And it's so cool. But yeah, it's like the Brides of Funkenstein going, on guard, and it's a literal fucking fencing duel. And one of the members of the band famously would wear a fencing helmet when they were on stage. That's all he would wear. It's like a fencing mask. So that song's cool.
Defend
the horns,
yourself.
the horns on that are fucking sick as shit. That song is just like really, really awesome. Super cool way to start the record, and just kicks off the whole theme of everything. And then the one I'd really like to talk about is Funkentelechy, because in really sharp contrast to songs like Sir No's Devoid of Funk and Placebo Syndrome, which those songs are like, one is kind of sinister, right? Sir No's is kind of sinister and creepy and spooky in a very fun way. And then Placebo Syndrome is kind of like almost feels like you're like on antidepressants. It's just like everything just fucking sucks, and that's because you're in the fucking syndrome. And it's like, it's kind of a bummer, like downer kind of feeling in a very wistful kind of way. Like kind of wishing things were better, and it's like this. It's like a lullaby, like explaining to you like why things are kind of hard. Whereas like Funkentelechy is like, there's that middle section where they start playing those kind of really great like James Brown chords, those kind of like 6-9 chords.
You're talking
or
about
whatever.
the part when he goes, "Go to the bridge, can't go to the bridge."
Yeah,
that part. Yeah,
where it goes Funkentelechy, and it's like it's this very serene.
How's your funk?
Yeah, it's this very serene, almost like it's like you're imagining like it's like very zen and very serene. It's like achieving the nirvana that is Funkentelechy, whatever. I don't know. We haven't determined what way we're going to say it. Yeah,
it's both. It's both.
So it's like this. It's complete opposite.
In the commercial that promotes it, they call it Funkentelechy.
Interesting.
Funkentelechy versus the Placebo Syndrome. On sale now.
That's how announcer guy says it. So that's not definitive either.
Funkentelechy.
I don't think there is a definitive way to say it, but yeah, I mean, I love that song because of how, again, just like how it reinforces, as good as they are at enforcing the Placebo Syndrome themes with these kind of spooky, creepy, kind of bummer, downer things. They go the totally opposite end of it, which is not just like fun party, like on Bop Gun, but like, it's not just that it's fun, it's that it's literal like sublime nirvana that your brain is reaching when you're that connected to your pure creativity and the pure funk, right?
It's like you're soaring through the clouds now kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a heavenly bridge section. Love that about it. And then, I don't know, unless you have stuff to add about that one, I don't have like a ton to say about my picks.
No, I think, well, the one last thing, just to hop back to Bop Gun real quick, is that those guitars in the intro are a fantastic demonstration of kind of like more of like a technical hallmark of funk music.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people, a lot of music producers will, knowledge that people will pass around, which is that if you want the true funk guitar tone, the way that you get it is by recording guitars direct.
Ooh, interesting.
So the traditional funk guitar tone has no reverb, has no effects on it. It is completely dry. And the reason for that is because you're not even miking up a guitar amp at all. There's no distortion, no nothing. You just plug the guitar amp into the mixing console and you record it like that. And it's dink, 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 bone dry.
Yeah.
And just right there on the tape. And those intro guitars of Bop Gun are like,
totally.
What better example of that tone is there than right there?
But they almost sound like they have some kind of like envelope filter on them maybe or something, or there's something going on a little bit. Like maybe I'm hearing that in the bass more.
Let's see. Let me just pop the recording on real quick. No, you're right. So I just listened back to it real quick. So yeah, not only does the one in the right ear, well, maybe left, because my headphones are like the crappy knockoff ones from Amazon, so they might have right and left backwards. But the first guitar does have a bit of reverb on it. but it sounds like it's like chamber verb, not like production verb, not guitar amp verb.
Something from the studio.
Exactly. It's got a bare amount of studio verb, which I know it sounds stupid, but it sort of doesn't count when you're talking about that there's no reverb on this.
Yeah. It's a dry guitar signal.
Right. It's a dry guitar signal. And the second one, yes, does have an envelope effect on it, like an auto envelope, which was a big thing in the 70s.
Yeah.
And also was a huge part of Bootsy Collins's signature bass tone.
Yeah.
And what that is it's an effect that
I think it's on the bass on Bop Gun too, and that would make sense if that's a Bootsy tune.
Let me go into this.
And like, how do you even describe it to someone who can't literally hear us doing it? It's like, wow, it's like this really wild.
Essentially, what the effect does is it's an envelope filter. So meaning that there is a filter that cuts off a portion of the sound.
Yeah.
But it responds using an envelope, which means that filter will cut out more if there's like a soft signal, a soft amount of the guitar being played, and it'll cut out less if there's a stronger signal.
Interesting.
Meaning that the guitar is louder being played. Mm-hmm. So if you play the guitar quiet, it's more muffled. And if you play the guitar loud, it opens up.
Yeah.
The filter comes away. So as you're playing, duk-a-tink, soft, loud, it goes chuk-a-whack, and it moves. And it's sort of
almost like a auto wah, but not quite. It sounds different than that, though.
Right. It resembles what a wah-wah pedal is doing.
Yeah.
But the difference is that the wah-wah pedal is being controlled by your foot. So it's not responding to how loud you're playing the guitar at all. It's just responding to where you're putting your foot. Right. You can do whatever you want with it. But the envelope filter thing it's like the wah-wah pedal is being controlled by how loud you're playing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so when he's playing that guitar lick, it's
responding to the dynamics in his own playing, which is something you can't physically do accurately with a wah pedal. Not that accurate, at least.
Right, exactly.
It's like a machine doing it.
And the end result is that it sounds super funky.
So sick. Yeah, and the two guitars together, they're playing like a harmony thing too. It's like they're playing slightly as a harmonized kind of thing. Like
they're harmonizing with each other. This envelope filter effect, this is also a very quintessential effect that people put onto a clavinet.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is it's a keyboard instrument. It's essentially like you're playing guitar strings, but with a keyboard, sort of thing. Yeah, you can Google clavinet to find more, but but that sound like that's an envelope filter on a clavinet. That old sound.
I guess just to round it out, ironically, the only song we haven't talked about, and I was gonna pick it anyway, is "Flashlight."
The big one.
The song that you've heard before. If you've never listened to this record, you've certainly heard this song before.
Yes.
Huge, like gigantic smash hit. Fucking for a reason too. It's so sick.
Yeah. You're right. This is one of the. This song is in the American pantheon of music. Everybody knows this.
One of the most famous songs of like the 70s period. Like,
Flashlight.
Weirdly, one of the only songs you can like definitively confirm Bootsy Collins is on, but ironically, he's the drummer. He's not even playing bass.
Yeah, that's trippy.
He plays drums on this.
I didn't even know that he played drums.
He plays on Flashlight, which is pretty sick.
Flashlight. There you go.
Yeah, like we were saying earlier, this is like the Bernie Worrell song. He like apparently wired up several different Moogs together to get the bass sound that he's got. And it's funny you brought up earlier like how it was like a part that maybe Bootsy just didn't want to play or something like that. Because it's like, I listen to this and I'm like, you can't play this on a bass anyway. There's shit that he's doing, like the, that shit.
Yeah.
Like the bass can't do that. The bass guitar doesn't do stuff like that. That's like literally like the modulation wheel on a keyboard is doing that kind of a sound on the keys, But it's like a really early instance of like using a keyboard, a synthesizer as a bass. Like it's like one of the earlier instances of that being used in like a studio context. And on top of all the shit that Bernie's doing, like all the other string synthesizer stuff he's doing on top of this too, it's just like really like a showcase of his abilities in like a major way. Like,
I know it when you listen to the song, it sounds like, oh wow, this is a big ass band.
Yeah.
And it is true, because it is. Like, wow, it sounds like this band, it must be a huge funk collective.
But he's covering so much ground. Like,
right. Exactly. It's like, it sounds like this band has 3 drummers. And yeah, they sort of do. Whoa, it sounds like this band has 5 guitar players. Yeah, it sort of does. It sounds like this band has 2 or 3 bass players. Yeah, that's true. It sounds like this band has 6 keyboard players. And no, it doesn't. It has 1. It's crazy.
I have a hard time believing he didn't overdub the more top liney stuff. Like the bass line, you can tell he's like ba-doo ba-doo boop 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 woo. But it's like there's stuff he's doing with the modulation wheel where I'm like, you need both hands for that. Like, I'm no Bernie Worrell, but I think even somebody great would need 2 hands for that, And it's like, but at the same time, you can still hear the other top line kind of pad stuff.
I'm sure this is all overdubs, dude. I'm positive. Yeah. No.
Yeah. It's got to be, right?
Because also too, the way that you made records back then is like you're writing the song as you're recording it,
totally,
or at least a song like this.
Yeah, the song is appearing as you go, like you're discovering it along the way.
Yeah, right. There's a reason why it's one like 2-bar loop.
Yeah.
For 10 minutes. Like,
yeah.
It's because the whole thing is you're just fucking vibing. You're just
totally.
Put on another layer, put on another layer, put on another layer. Okay, so the Wikipedia New King James Version says the song's distinctive bass line is often attributed to Bootsy Collins.
No, I think it's obviously not.
And was originally written for him. However, Collins rejected the part, and Bernie Worrell created the line on at least 3, possibly 4 connected Minimoog synthesizers.
He just had them all wired together to create that tone.
Yeah, when it says that, like...
That's what I take from it.
It says connected Minimoog synthesizers. I don't know enough about them to know what does that mean exactly.
I would assume all it means is you have 4 Moogs or 4 synthesizers and you're just blending them to get that tone. That's all that is. He's probably got like a sub bass one. He's probably got a more meaty mid-rangey one. It's like it's probably might not even be 4. It sounds like 3 or 2 or 3 to me.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. And then maybe the 3rd or 4th or 3rd and 4th is the top line stuff, and that just gets attributed to the bass line. But I don't know. Genius, Bernie Worrell. I mean, this song alone would earn him Rock and Roll Hall of Fame style status because it's so good. But also, this is another song I think that it's the crescendo of the album. It finishes off all the themes. It finishes really strong. It's the best song on the album.
It's the victory of frickin' Star Child.
Star Child, yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, he has the ability to see other people's thought bubbles. I fucking love that.
It's so good.
Oh, the Wikipedia also says that the da da dee da 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 da
bar mitzvah.
Yes.
Right?
Based on a chant from a dance at a bar mitzvah party that Clinton had heard from a friend.
That's what I'm saying.
He's got klezmer in there.
That's what I'm saying. There are no rules as long as it's funky. As
long as it's funky.
It's in there. If it's funky, it's in there,
Yeah.
Also, like, I was watching a bunch of these documentaries about P-Funk this week, and there's this one guy from that hip-hop group, the Digital Underground, who's featured a lot in these, and he's just like a total freak about George Clinton. I forget his name off the top of my head, but I'll link to the documentaries I watched in the description. But he, I think, got to know George Clinton in the 90s when he was doing that stuff, because they would just sample P-Funk stuff all the time and all their shit. And he said George Clinton told him, or maybe it was something he realized, like this could just be his interpretation, or it could be something George Clinton told him directly. I can't remember. But basically his take on Flashlight was Flashlight not being a noun, but being an action, being a verb. Like flashlight. Flashlight. Like flashlight on, like that's, they're like telling you what to do.
Hey, flashlight.
Yeah. So flashlight, like as in like, this is how you win. This is how you beat the placebo syndrome. This is how you defeat Sir Nose devoid of funk out there in your own life, is flashlight, spotlight. Like they're telling you,
that's
like
dope.
Shine a light on shit.
Flashlight.
Yeah. It's fucking sick. Or it could literally just, you know, or you could look at it as like a noun, which is just a cool thing to write a song about, which is flashlight. But
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Super badass. Dope ass song. I mean, it's like it's self-explanatory. Just go listen to it. If you've never heard Flashlight, you've been living under a fucking rock.
This is another good example of favorite best, which
Sure.
I'm enjoying, is becoming a bit of a theme.
Yeah.
On the show, and maybe we should.
That should be a thing on the show.
Yeah, maybe we should.
What's the favorite? What's your favorite and best on the album? Yeah.
From our discussion so far, since we've gone through every song, it sounds like I think we're in unison.
Wizard of Finance is best.
Oh, okay. I was reacting to the fact that in the last 5 minutes you've said that Flashlight is the best song like 3 or 4 times. But
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I was going to say.
That's true. I have said that.
Favorite Wizard of Finance.
Yeah.
But okay. But now that you say that, I don't know. I mean, what are my metrics for best?
Yeah.
Best.
I think that's what it is. Favorite is Wizard of Finance, but let's be real. The best song is fucking Flashlight. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like, come on.
Yeah, I agree. Favorite Wizard of Finance, best Flashlight.
Hey, I'm dubbing it now. We got to start doing favorite best on the show. That was really loud, but we have to start doing that on the show.
Favorite best.
Favorite best. Well, I think we both kind of, this could kind of loosely serve as just like one final toppy, which is like the ways in which P-Funk has like reverberated out into the world since this album.
Yes. Right. Earlier you were talking about like, where does P-Funk sit in contender for the greatest American band?
Yeah.
And, while maybe I don't believe that they should hold the crown, they need to be on the ballot.
They have to be, yeah.
Yeah. But one of the ways in which they really, really earn that place on the ballot is in terms of influence.
Yeah. Yes.
And speaking of how much we were just talking about the bass line, the synth bass line on Flashlight, it's like, dude, the way in which playing the bass line on a synth, not only doing that period, but the way in which it can be performed, how influential that is on music throughout the 80s.
Yep.
Unfucking real, man.
Unreal.
Like, some of the finest examples of like Man in the Mirror or something, or
I mean, that's the 80s, dude. That's the 80s in a nutshell. Is fucking doing what Bernie Worrell does on this record.
Just talking about it right now really makes me realize you also have to look at the influence of Stevie Wonder as well. So I'm not so sure if it's like very single-handedly from Flashlight, but
They're up there though. They're in the conversation. Yeah.
But the place where P-Funk really does deserve a single-handed influence is in West Coast hip hop.
Yeah, G-Funk.
Right.
Why do you think it's called G-Funk?
There's a style of music that's called G-Funk, if you don't know. And it's called that because it is overtly and intentionally, we are doing P-Funk, but it's gangsters doing P-Funk. It's G-Funk.
It's gangsters literally rapping over P-Funk beats and samples.
Both covered and sampled and new original compositions in the style of P-Funk. Like, so, some of the most prominent examples, the granddaddy of G-Funk is the Chronic.
Yeah.
Is Dr. Dre the Chronic. So you have multiple, the first two that I'm able to clock, and I'm sure there's like 80 different P-Funk references in the music on that album, but Let Me Ride, swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. That's just from Mothership Connection. The Roach at the end. The but the Roach on the Chronic is just, it's straight up, it's the P-Funk song. It's the first track on Mothership Connection.
Snoop Doggy Dog. That's fucking Atomic Dog, man. It's literally just Atomic Dog.
It's Atomic Dog, and also too the bass line, that iconic synth bass line, I believe is just a simplification of Flashlight.
Yeah.
Dun 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 dun, but don't bump bam 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 dead, and then so they just play bass line of Flashlight and Atomic Dog, and then even the higher top line dee boo bee dee, that's probably from P-Funk also.
Totally.
On Doggy Style. DJ Quick, fucking legend, Compton legend. His whole album, just check out like Safe and Sound. That entire album is like, it's like right in the heart of the G-Funk style, song after song after song. It's just, okay, these guys are just doing Parliament.
Yeah. I don't have examples, but I know like Ice Cube, huge P-Funk fan, probably
Warren G.
And even like fucking guys that weren't like G-Funk, like De La Soul, like did a bunch of Parliament samples on like 3 Feet High and Rising. Like there's a bunch of Parliament shit on that record too. Like, yeah, I mean, if you're talking about influence, G-Funk alone, it's like basically an entire other style of music.
Based on one band.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got that.
Yeah, that's rare.
You've got that, right? Which is like it's so cool. Like the Black community, like the way they were influenced by this band, they just like directly like kind of reinterpolated it into a whole new style of music that has now completely taken on a life of its own and like deserves its own place carved out.
And that itself is influential.
Totally, yeah. Which you hear it's in like Kendrick today, right?
That's
like,
one of the genius things about Kendrick and his albums is the way in which it is that next natural iteration and the next generation of G-Funk after P-Funk, and
then you've got
genius.
Like, so I mean that I consider G-Funk like it is entirely like they invented their own thing using P-Funk as its clay, right? But it is like totally like its own thing. And then you've got on the whole other end of the spectrum, it's like you've got George Clinton producing the Red Hot Chili Peppers, right?
Chili Peppers, okay, coming back around to that.
Who basically went on to be like, they're one of the biggest, hugest, most top-selling bands of all time. Like, and they still are around, and like they're essentially just doing Parliament. Yes. That's all it is.
A contender for the biggest band in human history.
Yeah. Talk about another band that is like on the ballot of like greatest American bands. Like,
it's just 4 white guys doing P-Funk.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, literally. I mean, you look at John Frusciante and the way that he is like a Hendrix disciple in the same way that Eddie Hazel is a Hendrix disciple, and like all these other guitar players that they had were these Hendrix disciples playing over this like acid rock funk. That's Parliament Funkadelic, man. That's what it is. That's what, like, Chili Peppers are not reinventing the wheel. They're just taking the blueprint that George Clinton made and running with it into the 80s and 90s and today, you know, like.
And I mean, P-Funk too, like learning about this, I think really also made it much more clear to me the role in the like timeline, so to speak, of funk is that P-Funk lives in, because I never really knew, and I still don't know a lot about funk music as a wider genre, but I used to, you know, not really know, did Parliament invent funk? Like that term? Were they the ones who came up with that? Turns out no, they weren't. And the psychedelic thing and everything, you know, P-Funk didn't really invent. You know, they were like we showed in the timeline of their shit. They were a doo-wop group that decided to pivot and join an already existing movement. You know, they
decided to pivot to dropping acid.
Their whole thing is them joining in on something that is already underway.
Right.
So they didn't invent any of this. No. However, along the way, they invented their own style. The P-Funk is a very clear, particular style of funk.
That I would contend they perfected on this album. Like, they invented their own offshoot of it, and on this album, it's like, this is the pinnacle of it. Like, this is the best one.
I agree with you. And my final thought is that I'm glad that you chose this, because like my bewilderment when you first did pick it, I'm like, what?
It's so funny to me that you felt that way. That's awesome.
Because now I understand that, like, okay, this is the pinnacle. This is the top.
This is the good shit.
The peak of the mountain of the entire P-Funk saga and achievement. And
it's the good shit. And you know, I don't even blame you for thinking that initially, because I think a lot of people assume this is they're like a pop band, right? Like they're like a disco-y, funky disco pop group.
They're more known for how they look than what they played. Yeah. At least to us, at least to white people, you know?
Totally. Yeah. And I mean, God, and talking about just their influence, I mean, the fact that you got Bernie Worrell going on to join Talking Heads, it's like, and then basically transforming Talking Heads into like the fucking freight train of a band that band was.
If you have not seen Stop Making Sense,
we're gonna do it. We just gotta do it.
You have to go. I mean, just talking to the listeners. You gotta go. Gotta watch.
Yeah, you want to watch. You want to watch Bernie Worrell melt your fucking face, dude. Throw on that movie. Throw on Stop Making Sense.
Wait, quick question. Should we? Because of how tempted I am to tell you right now and to record your reaction of what my pick for the next album is, should we pivot it to be on the end of the main episode, or should we keep that for only the special crew?
I think let's do it. Let's start doing it. Then people can start doing their homework ahead of time, which I think they appreciate.
Yeah. I guess we got to serve the people first and foremost, right?
Okay, so brand new segment time. Let's go. Sirens blasting. We're gonna announce the next pick right now. What's your? I'm so excited. Actually, I can't wait.
I'm excited for you.
What are we doing?
I'm excited for you right now.
Oh fuck! I feel like I'm in trouble.
Okay. My pick for the next album, we are doing Ween.
Yes!
Mollusk.
Oh! Fuck yeah. Fuck.
The Mollusk.
Fuck. Yeah. Yes. Dude.
Yeah, if you don't know this album, do your homework, y'all. Start listening.
I've turned into a wiener the last couple years. I am a full-on wiener. Band. Yeah. Okay, let's not go into a whole thing, though. We got to end the episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Ween the Mollusk, next album you got to check out. I can't fucking wait to listen to the Mollusk. So, we're also a band. You can find all our music at blackmarketdub.bandcamp.com. We play a bunch of shit, guitars, bass, all kinds of fun stuff, dubs in various bands.
Reggae.
If you go to escapepatchrecords.com, you can find all that stuff. Also, you can find a bunch of our vinyl at escapepatchrecords.com. Definitely support them because we are closely affiliated with them. The better they do, the better we do. So please go check out escapepatchrecords.com. If you want bonus content, bonus episodes, a blog, ad-free episodes, video episodes, you can get that over at patreon.com/blackmarketdub.
And we also periodically will just send you free copies of physical media of our releases when we release them. We'll just give them to you because of how much we appreciate your contributions.
If you're a new...
And how they probably wouldn't even exist without your contributions. Totally. We love you, patrons. Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah, do that, patreon.com/blackmarketdub. Brandon.
Oi.
I'm very eager to hear if you have any closing words for us.
Yes, I do. And it's one that you alluded to earlier.
Good.
Ho! I love those Mises to pieces.
I love those Mises to pieces, y'all.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.